Welcome to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. It's our pleasure, our honor to do this event every second Friday of the month. It's free, it's open to the public. We do it right here in Council Chambers at City Hall. We throw in coffee in Danish, courtesy of Culinary Village, formerly Silver Platter. Entrees, they're a caterer and a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Happy to have them. We are going to start today with our sponsor. We're starting a little differently. The mayor is on his way, but had an emergency at home, and I can't wait for him to tell you all about it when he gets here, because I personally have never heard this excuse before, and I love it. So a little pre-clue to what's going to happen when he gets here. But we're going to start with our sponsor. We have a brand new partnership. We're so happy that they're going to be with us, and they're going to be with us for about 6 months. So please welcome from Florida Community Health Centers, their new CEO, I think she started April 1st, Wilhelmina Lewis. Welcome, Wilhelmina.
It's a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. You just took over as CEO, but you've been with the company for a while. So you were formerly the CMO?
Yes, I was. I was the Chief Medical Officer for about 7 years. I came to the company about 15 years ago, though, when I moved to Fort Pierce and was in private practice. I thought that I was going to stay in private practice, but thankfully I got a call asking if I was interested in working for a community health center. I said yes, and it changed my life.
Oh, good. And you know what? Changed your life because of what you guys do at Florida Community Health Center. It's different from a regular general practice. Can you tell the people kind of a little bit about what you guys do there?
Certainly, I'd love to. We are a private, nonprofit organization. We've actually been in business for now almost 42 years coming this summer. And it's our mission to provide cost-effective, comprehensive, quality health care to all people regardless of their socioeconomic status.
Right.
Which is kind of a fancy way of us saying that we really are here to provide care for our community. We take all comers, whether they have insurance or not. And if they don't have insurance, we make sure that it's affordable for them.
So you have kind of a sliding scale of what they might have to pay based on their income, right?
Exactly. It's based on the federal poverty guidelines. So we look at how many people are in the family and what the family household income is. Then we can do what's called make a slide. And that way a patient may be able to see us for as little as $20, be able to see a physician, get labs, get x-rays all at our facility, and even have access to our pharmacy services, which are significantly discounted.
Right.
So they get great care and they can do it at a price that's affordable for them and their family.
Perfect. And like she said, you can have insurance, you can not have insurance. You don't discriminate. Any single person can come in.
Exactly. We take all comers.
And you mentioned you had labs. What exactly what services do you provide there? Because most general practitioners, if you need blood work, or they'll send you out to Quest or somewhere. What all do you guys do at the sites?
We can do anything that you can have done usually at a physician's office, which means that if you need a pregnancy test, if you need a urine test, those things that we do in-house ourselves or in the office ourselves, that's also included. But if we need to send you out for any test that you would get done at LabCorp, Quest, any of the other regional labs, we can draw it at our site and then we'll send it out. A large number of those labs, we've made special arrangements for our patients to be able to have that as a part of their fee, or again at a significant discount. If it's a test that's not usually drawn, we can still draw those tests, get it for the patient, but at a good price.
At a good price. So you're negotiating the price with whoever's testing the blood and all that kind of stuff for them. That's fantastic. And you guys have several centers, and you're located on bus lines too, which are great. Tell us a little bit more about where you're at in the community.
Well, we have 12 sites around Lake Okeechobee, but specifically in Port St. Lucie, we have 3 sites.
Yeah.
2 located very close to St. Lucie Medical Center. One is a pediatric-specific practice. The other is an OBGYN practice and also takes care of adult patients. Then we have one other practice in Darwin Square, and they also take care of a broad spectrum of patients, pediatrics, adult, OBGYN, and we also have behavioral health services co-located on site. We don't provide those services directly, but we do have those services available through our affiliation with behavioral health providers.
So you can do it at your space.
Yes.
That's fantastic, and it's such a need because we have residents here that may just be underinsured, and that's the perfect venue for them.
For us, it really is fulfilling to be able to provide a quality service to people at a reasonable price, and a lot of us, most of us, go into this type of work because we really care about the community, and we want to make sure that people are able to have the highest quality of care no matter what their socioeconomic status. So if they have great insurance, then wonderful. We're glad to be able to put all of those funds into the pot to help take care of other patients who may not be able to afford our services otherwise as easily. And we're also proud that we can demonstrate that we have quality because we're recognized by the Joint Commission. We've actually been Joint Commission accredited since 2000, as a lot of hospitals are, and we're certified as a level 3 patient-centered medical home at each of our sites by a national organization called NCQA.
NCQA, what does it stand for?
It's the National Quality Assurance Association, and it's a nationally recognized organization that looks at patient-centered medical homes, and you have to resubmit documentation and other proof every 3 years, and actually they're moving to every year to maintain certification in demonstration that you provide really patient-centered and high-quality services.
Fantastic. You mentioned something else great, that if you do have insurance, please still come, because you're helping to subsidize the rest of the people that need it. So, you know, that's almost a community service of yourself, is please go into these conveniently located on the bus line locations and get some service. Tell everybody your website address.
We are at www.fchcinc.org.
fchcinc.org. Florida
correct.
Community Health Centers, Inc. .org. Very
That's
good.
correct.
And thank you for partnering with us. I hope next month we'll talk about something different, maybe a different aspect of each service that you provide. And I'm really looking forward to it and getting to know you as well. So
thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, Wilhelmina. We'll be right back. We have a special drawing that I promised everybody today. We're going to do that real quick with the mayor, who's going to be joining us. Thank you, everybody. To Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Teresa Aronson from St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. So there's plenty of people with me,
and
but
I'm Greg Orvik,
yeah,
Mayor of Port St. Lucie.
The most important is
well, not the most,
but we now have the mayor
yes.
for the Coffee with the Mayor, and we're going to dive into at great detail why he is just getting here to the show, because it's a great story.
It is the Friday the 13th edition.
It is. But right now, we promised everybody here, and some people came just for this, but we promised everybody on our Facebook page, and we are Facebooking Live right now. So thanks for that. We are going
thanks for taking off your hockey mask. I appreciate it.
We are, of course, at the Chamber, do a cruise every year. We do it over Super Bowl. It's our Super Bowl cruise. It's 3 nights, 4 days. This year, all you can drink, actually, this year on the NCL Sky. All you can drink. And every 300 tickets we sell is a fundraiser for the Chamber. They're just $5. We're going to pull a winner. We have finally sold our first 300. And we have our primary sponsor here for our cruise from Hannon Pest Control. Of course, we have Jamie Hannon. That's easy. Your last name's not, I should have known that. I was second guessing myself. I know you're Jamie, but okay, Hannon does make sense.
Get out of your own head.
I know. Hannon Pest Control, we have Jamie Hannon. He, of course, is the president and CEO. And he brought with us Jason Valentine from Hannon as well. And this is...
Why is he so much tanner than the boss?
Are you out spraying, or does this guy looks like he tans?
Maybe this has to do with outside applications.
He does.
Big hat.
Okay.
Yeah. He tans.
Keep the head safe from the race.
All right, we have one more person. Miriam Lovinger, Wolfcat Lovinger, is our cruise planner. She does this for us every year, and she allows us to do this. All right. Now, I do have some people in the audience that are here specifically to find out if they win, so no pressure, Jamie. But before we pull the winner of this one, I want to...
You always get to go. You just get to be in the luggage compartment. You're fine.
Yes. Right? She basically is. She's carry-on size for sure. But you are going to donate, as a sponsor, you're getting 2 cabins to go with us, but you are going to donate one. Can you tell us a little bit about who you're going to donate that to?
Actually, we are going to donate one to law enforcement or firefighters. And I think that'll be coming up in October.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
Nice.
We're going to pick a winner in October. The Chamber of Commerce honors a Fort Pierce police officer from both districts every month, and Port St. Lucie does the same. And so they will be thrown into the mix too. And so we'll, and some firefighters as well. And in October, we're going to see if one of them doesn't get to go with us on the cruise. That, remember, you can book on your own too. It's not, you don't have to just do the raffle, but you can book it. And it's free alcohol. Are you ready for that, Jamie?
I don't drink.
You don't drink? Okay. I really don't drink much either, so it's a waste on me, but that's okay. I like watching other people do it. We're going to spin it. And we are going to
These
pull.
make the best outtakes right here.
I know it. Sometimes they fly out, but I see we've taped it up like smart people. Very good. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm scared. I'm scared for you mostly.
No, I'm not doing that.
All right. Do you want me to announce it? Okay. Oh, my land.
Me?
No way.
It is Marisol Gunkowski. It is Marisol Gunkowski. Oh my goodness gracious.
Wow.
So just to prove that there are others in there, just to prove that there are others in there, we'll pull another card. Pull one out. Just
Buy a load of tickets.
Yeah, I don't want to say this one. Is Patricia here, Christensen? It was Jeanette Weiss was the next one. So there are other names in there. We always want to prove that. Thank you for watching us on Facebook Live. And thank you to Jamie for sponsoring for us and for coming and doing the raffle. We appreciate it.
To be a part of it.
We're excited. We're going to have a lot of fun watching other people drink on the cruise,
Yeah,
you and
I
I.
agree.
Okay.
Well, I know we were there for your ribbon cutting. How did people get a hold of you and everything? What's the best way?
344 Bugs or our website, gohannon.com.
344 bugs. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. When I grew up, my 344 was my thing.
Thank
All
you
right.
for giving back.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Facebook Live, for sharing this moment with us. And we will be right back, everybody. Thank you. Welcome back to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Teresa Aronson. I'm here with none other than...
Greg Orvek, Mayor of Port St. Lucie.
Of course. And we have some special guests in the audience today. I want to mention that your Vice Mayor...
You didn't say hi to the Vice Mayor
I didn't.
before?
We were trying to run through some stuff, and but of course, the Vice Mayor...
Everyone, say hello to your Vice Mayor.
Yes. The Vice Mayor Shannon Martin is with us. And from Representative Gail Harrell's office, Karen Sweeney's with us today. She's back from Tallahassee. Thank you so much for being here. We have a lot to get to. We still haven't done our Children's Services Community Impact Award winner yet. I said it right. I got the thumbs up.
Wow.
But we want to talk, I alluded to the fact that you had texted me while you were running just a little bit late, and it is probably one of the best excuses I've heard in a very long time.
It's true.
And if anybody else has it anytime soon, then I know where you got it from.
All right.
But tell what happened this morning.
Well, what's today?
Today's Friday the 13th.
The 13th.
Yes, yes.
So I think a lot of people know that when I don't sleep at my desk here at City Hall, I only live about 6 minutes away, maybe 10 if I catch a light, and or the wrong light.
Yeah.
And this morning I was backing out of the driveway, and right at the foot of the driveway, unfortunately, was a dead raccoon. And now you may know this is very morbid, obviously, but in PSL, if you see a dead animal on the side of the road, you can call our office. Yeah. You can call Waste Pro, and we'll get it picked up immediately. Call them in all the time. But unfortunately, this one was right there in front of my driveway, and had to take care of it.
You had to take care of it?
Truly, this morning, I was on my way here, saw the poor raccoon. And I love raccoons. There was a magazine growing up, Ranger Rick, that I used to read.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it was a really wonderful kids magazine. And my kids, for whatever reason, call raccoons Brother Raccoon, like they're related to them. I don't know if that means we're a family of bandits. I don't
have
know
no
if we're rabid, but
You like to rummage
we
through trash?
really like raccoons, and to see that poor raccoon right at the foot of the driveway,
I like
meeting
seeing
its
it be
end,
dead.
not good.
Did
So
he look like he died of natural causes? Please don't ruin my day.
definitely not natural.
Damn it,
No.
he's ruining my day.
No, nothing natural about getting run over by a vehicle.
I hate that.
So brought it into Wilderness Park and laid him or her to rest underneath the poinciana tree I had planted in the park.
So you buried a dead raccoon in the park?
I did.
Did you have a service, and is it deep enough that some poor unsuspecting child is not going to dig it back up? And,
Well,
you
I'm
know?
not worried about the child, the unsuspecting child, but I would say that coyote or
Yeah, we'll
another
probably-
scavenger could. I did about 4 feet though in this outfit, so.
That's pretty deep.
And I'm highly visible on Morningside, so I'm sure there's plenty of corroborating witnesses.
I'm big at letting it go back to because we've had issues. I live out on the water, and so everything comes.
Oh, the chamber pays that well, huh? That's
Well,
nice.
no, it's not. Okay. It's a drainage ditch and a man-built canal that has no access to anything. So there you go.
You should run for mayor. You get paid more, and you're good at walking it back. Nicely done.
Yes. I have no access to anything. If I go in the water, I can go up and down in a straight line for like 2 miles. That's it. So, but we have dead things, and we had seen a possum that was literally, the possums down here, we grow them big, this big. I mean, it was huge. It was bigger than our dogs, 2 of them put together. And it was kind of mulling around the yard. We knew it was on its last leg, and my husband's like, it's gonna crawl under something, it's gonna die, it's gonna stink. And of course it did. We called animal control, and they were lovely. They came out and they tried to find it, but it had wedged itself somewhere. Long story short, it dies in the drainage ditch. And so my husband had to, drag it out because
In the culvert underneath
in
the
the
driveway.
culvert underneath the driveway, which is why
Natural hiding spot.
yeah, and that's why you get married, so you have a husband to handle these sorts of issues. He said, so I pulled it out.
What's in it for the husband then? I don't know.
I'm a delight. That's what he gets. Don't let him see this. And so he pulled it out.
A clip of this.
And he set it off to the side and went back in. And when he came out, the vultures had already been there because we found it because it was smelling, so that's prime eating time. A vulture died on top of it. So he goes out, he's like, now I have a dead vulture and a dead possum that I have to, but luckily we have a empty lot beside us. So they all go to the empty lot to feed others, is how we like to see
So
it.
the moral of that story is don't visit the Aronson waterfront estate.
No, the waterfront
but you don't
estate.
check out.
We call it a cabin. It's very small because we don't make a lot at the nonprofit, non-subsidized, non-government funded chamber. I had to get that in there.
Nice.
Thank
Nicely
you.
done.
I think that was seamless.
So
Nobody
it was a sad reason to be late, but we're lucky to live in Florida. We're lucky to live in a place where we still have what makes Florida, Florida.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you live on the edge of the wild, that interface isn't always the way we want it to be. So please be careful out there. We have all kinds of wildlife. And then if unfortunately there is a tragedy where an animal is hurt, please call animal control. And if it's fatal, please.
You can still call animal
You
control.
can control animal control or our office.
Or Wasteboro. Wastepro's with us today. Lois
that's
is
good.
here from Wasteboro.
Yeah.
But please note that on the weekends, which is normally when I have to call them, you have to dial 911 and just tell them animal control because they don't have a direct line during the weekends, just so
Or
everybody knows.
like me, you could just take 2 shovels out and.
Go to the park with your carcass. Did you put that in your car?
No, I live right across the street from the park, and I just carried it over.
Okay, I was going to say, ooh.
All right, and so today really wanted to share with the people. I'd like to get on Facebook every once in a while and just kind of have an open forum and just take whatever may come. And a couple topics that came up this week were repaving and sidewalks. Everyone wants to know when their street is being repaved and when their sidewalk is going to get done, or where sidewalks in their neighborhood are going to get done. And we've talked about it before, but you can never talk about it enough. Probably 3,000 people have moved here since the last time we spoke about it. And because it's Friday the 13th, I couldn't pull off what I wanted. I wanted to actually take you and everyone watching at home through some of the great resources that are now available. We've done a repaving master plan. We've done a sidewalk master plan. And those are available at cityofpsl.com. And I actually wanted to show you how easy it was. But the bulb is out in the projector, probably because it's Friday the 13th, and the bulb will get delivered this afternoon. So if this would have been martinis with the mayor, we would have been able to pull this off. But since it's coffee with the mayor,
Yes.
the Dead Raccoon edition, we're not going to be able to do it. Believe me when I say, though, it's really easy. And we even have interactive maps now so that you can actually zoom in and see in your neighborhood the roads that are going to be repaved, the sidewalks that are going to be built, and when they're going to be done. And that's all you have to do is go to cityofpsl.com, and there's a little search bar, and type in repaving or sidewalk. It's really that easy.
You also have on your website where you can see what projects are going up, because I can't tell you how many times people are like, are we getting a Starbucks here? And but now on your website, you have an interactive map that you can click on it to see, oh, look, the Starbucks is coming here. And so that's exciting. Your website's getting great.
It is. We really have an excellent communications department. We're very proud of the work that they're doing. They're award-winning, and they're just going to get better over time.
Good.
And speaking of things that are coming, I'm hearing BurgerFi and Mission Barbecue.
Oh, I don't know what any of those are. Are they northern things? Are they southern? Where are they from?
No, I could say what's going on here, but then I might be accused of discriminatory behavior, so I'm not. But it's, I think, for millennials. That's okay for me to say?
It's from what?
They're millennial brains.
Oh, the
I think
millennial.
you're just outside of
So
the
you called
millennials
me
already.
old.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. I'm so
The
old. It took
audience-
me a minute to figure
well,
that
It
out.
took the audience a minute too. They're like, oh my gosh, how's the mayor going to discriminate?
It's a
against
millennial
Kristen?
brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
all
saying
right.
she was old. That's all.
Yes, he did. But is it around here in Florida? Do they have other ones?
Oh.
I've literally never heard of it. Have you all heard of it? BurgerFi and. Oh, okay, very good. I'm old. I'm okay with it. I've seen my driver's license.
Do you want to get Sean down here and do it?
Well, we definitely want to get Sean down here.
Got to keep the energy up.
We do. So what we'll do is we'll take a break. We'll get Sean down here. We'll do that quickly, and then we're going to open it up to questions.
Okay. if you
Sound
say so.
good?
Whatever.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back, everybody. We're going to do our Community Impact Award with Children's Services Council. Welcome back to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Teresa Aronson with
Greg Orbeck.
the mayor. And we now brought on, we do this every single month. We're very happy to do it. We brought on the Executive Director of Children's Services Council, Mr. Sean Boyle. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we're here because every month we give somebody an award in the community, and we call it the Community Impact Award. And what is the qualifications to be a Community Impact Award winner?
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah.
We try to award somebody that is working hard every single day to make a difference in the lives of children and families in St. Lucie County.
Very good. And so I'm guessing this person does.
Exactly.
Who have you brought for us today?
Sure. So we released our annual impact report.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
going to change it up from Raccoon talk for a couple
Okay.
Good.
You're going to lose them.
Exactly. We released our annual impact report actually last Friday, and in it we go over the outcomes of the impact that our funded programs had on the community. 50 programs reached over 40,000 children last year. And part of our responsibility is not only to do that in an accountable, responsible manner, but is to make sure that our programs are up to speed with what works, what doesn't work, and how to have the greatest impact.
Yeah.
So this month's award winner, I was going to say week, like we're going to do this weekly.
We
This
cannot.
month's award winner from Tyson Teens has been training our programs on the impact of trauma-informed care approach to service delivery.
Very
So
good.
this month's winner is Dorothy Oppenheiser from Tyson Teens.
Thank you. Welcome, Dorothy. While we take some pictures, I actually got to see a little bit from your report at the Roundtable St. Lucie County. I think you presented last month, 2 days ago. I have no concept of time. Very
week
good.
ago.
Oh, good. Welcome. So what do you do at Tyson Teens?
So I travel all over the Treasure Coast, and on any given day, I might be in a school or agency, and I provide support, technical support, and training. So I do quite a bit of staff training, and we talk about things like trauma and how it affects kids, how it affects the behaviors that we're seeing, how to understand, become empathetic, and then we provide skills and training and then case studies so that they can work through how do I interact with this child, what can I do. So at Tyson Teens we focus on kids, and sometimes we have to focus on adults in order to help adults work with kids better.
That brings up a good point. What is Tyson Teens charged with?
So Tyson Teens, our mission is to provide quality education, prevention, and therapy for kids.
Okay.
And so we're based out of Palm City, but we in St. Lucie County, not only do I travel quite a bit in St. Lucie County with the different agencies and schools, but we also have infant mental health programs. So we have therapists that go into homes with parents or caregivers 0 to 5 and provide some really impactful support.
Very good.
You might want to just, because I don't want the audience to think infant mental health, the thought of a baby on a couch talking to a therapist. That's not what
Yes.
infant mental health is.
Yeah, no, actually, infant mental health, the focus is on the parent or caregiver and working with them to develop skills for working with baby.
And I'm a big proponent of that. Babies need to bond with their mother, and you can tell at a I'm sorry, you are correct. Takes two, but they need to bond with their primary caregiver realistically, and sometimes you can tell by the gaze of the child and recognition of, because I mean I know that your babies all recognize your smell, your bald head, very young.
Wow.
They probably, look just like you.
There's discrimination.
Turnabout's fair play. But yes, they're very good. Thank
Are you a nonprofit or?
Yeah, we're a nonprofit agency.
Okay.
Yep,
And
started in Palm City, and now we're trying to very carefully grow. But there's more need than we have the capacity at this point.
So how many team members do you have? How big is your organization?
We have about 95 employees.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, so who do you contract with, or what are your major funding sources?
So the Trauma-Informed Care Program is supported by the Southeast Florida Behavioral Health Network. And then our therapists, we have therapists in schools. We have 3 outpatient clinics in Martin County. And then here we have the Infant Mental Health Program that's as new as my program, about 3 years old. And then,
I was just going to
Yes.
say, aren't you in this
Infant mental
report
health.
that you've
Yes.
been, okay, very good.
and other programs. We have connections that are starting to grow up in Indian River County, but our agency is very careful and methodical in the growth because there is more need than we're able to provide.
Well, thank you for the work that you do. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you so much.
Now, we're going to talk about this for a second. Now, between the mayor and I, we should be able to come up with the 5.
Yeah, they're on the back cover.
Oh, okay. Well, I will
I'll hide it. I'll hide it.
I'm sure you will. The 5 areas that they tackle at the Children's Services Council. The Children's Services Council is
Healthy babies.
healthy babies. You want me now?
Yeah, back and forth.
Stopping abuse before it happens.
Okay. Some of these I think really should be consolidated. That's just
Yeah.
enough for you.
I'm
but,
going to argue against that, but
I'm going to
we'll
go
have another show.
staying off drugs and alcohol.
I'm going to say keeping kids in school.
Oh.
One more.
It's on the same vein.
Are you on this show?
Yes.
We
Marisol.
got a game going
I
here.
know.
Is that enough
Marisol.
that you won the cruise?
Yes. She thinks that she won the cruise. She's now a part of the show. She's a co-host, but she's right. Yeah.
I pay better attention than him, though.
She's,
Keeping kids off the streets.
yeah. Very good. So we did well with that.
Yeah, good job.
All right. And your annual report, where can they see it? Because the money that you're given, you are making sure that people have quantifiable results from
Right.
the programs that you fund.
They can visit our website, which is cscslc.org. You can find our annual impact report as well as our program accountability report, so you can find out the investment and the impact that every single one of our programs had in the community.
And it looks like you can color the front page as well, which is very exciting.
I tell
'Cause
Ashley all the time.
Is this bedtime
I want
reading
the
for
coloring book
kids?
version of the annual report.
There
She
you go. I
literally
love
did
it.
this time.
She totally did. It looks very nice. Well, thank you to you as well. And we'll be right back, everybody. We're going to take some questions from the audience. Welcome back. Welcome back to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Teresa Aronson from the Chamber of Commerce. Our pleasure, our honor to host this event every second Friday of the month. We do it here. It's free. It's open to the public.
Unless it's on a different day.
Which has happened, but don't tell them now. Of course, free, open to the public. Chambers at City Hall, Council
Who does
Chambers.
the coffee?
The coffee is provided by Culinary Village's Silver Platter,
Okay. Or the tea is done by the mayor's office.
branded.
That is, it's true. It's branded.
It's branded. All right, very good. We said we'd open it up to some questions.
And before that, let me
Okay.
just plug a very special episode. You know, in the run-up to the Coffees with the Mayor, I usually do Facebook and sometimes send out emails on to my email list. And people say, Greg, you know, I can't break away
Yeah.
for Coffee with the Mayor. Would you please do something at night or at a different time? And of course, because I like to work with the chamber, I try to have a margarita with the mayor and you know, some other things. But you were like, no, we have to do this because, and we're doing it, and we're good partners. It's because of sponsorship. They have sponsors for this.
For the
It's
nonprofit,
it's very important to the bottom line.
subsidized government.
But our award-winning communications department put some things together and said, hey, let's do a mile with the mayor.
Yeah.
So as a community, we're going to come together. We have a couple of health initiatives going on this year. One is the Billion Step Challenge. Is anyone here signed up for the Billion Steps? All right, if you haven't yet, please go to cityofpsl.com/billion steps. As a community, we're working with the health department, Healthy St. Lucie, to come together. And if you have a smartphone or a Fitbit, you can actually track the number of steps you walk. And a lot of us, we all want to be healthier. And sometimes we get it in our own head and say, well, I can't do it. One of the ways you can absolutely do it is just by taking a brisk walk every day. And so if you have a smartphone or a Fitbit, it counts your steps and it aggregates them if we're going to, on our page, and we're going to try to walk 1 billion steps together as a community. We're about 200 million right now. We have about 800 people signed up. But if we're going to hit our community goal and be a healthier, happier Port St. Lucie, we need you to join us. So please do. And as an offshoot of that, we're going to walk a mile with me, the mayor. And are we going to go to Woodstock Trail, I hope? We're
And you're going to film you all walking a mile.
Yes, we're actually going to.
And I'm not
That's
doing that, right?
No, you should completely do it. You could be on a bike if you want, but we're going to have some special guests. We're going to have the St. Lucie Transit Bike Sharing Program.
Okay.
Dave Engel out there. We're going to talk about, of course, the Billion Step Challenge with Jennifer Harris, where we actually have the Guinness Book of World Records record holder for diamond push-ups for a certain age category. You might have seen the show, Mr. Steve Salmazian, and actually he lost his title due to someone across the globe, and he is in training to get it back.
What's his age category? Am I going to feel worse about myself?
Most likely.
He's probably in his late 50s.
Yeah, I feel worse about myself.
But
Late
maybe
50s.
So we could have a push-up off if you want. And then Ann Stadius will be talking about the city's fitness center and really fitness centers. You can work out at the community center or the civic center, and one membership gets you access to both. And in addition to a great weight room. I don't want to flex too hard because I might rip this jacket.
Oh,
but
don't bring out the guns.
Yeah, thunder and lightning, boom. In addition to being able to go to both places, there's a number of classes. And if that's not your thing, on Crosstown and Jessica Clinton Park, you might have noticed that we put in some like lime green fitness stations that are body weight. And people love them, and as almost as much as the utility box reps.
You call your biceps thunder and lightning?
When they're good, yep.
I call mine Orville and Wilbur because they both flap a lot.
All right, so with that, let's open it up for questions.
Okay, let's do it. Karen Sweeney from Representative Gail Harrell's office is our first.
Wow, look at this, the steak coming over the top.
We're going to the hard hitters right from the get-go.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be back from Tallahassee from session.
Glad to have you.
I would just like to ask 2 questions.
Oh, there's
Number
usually a 1 question maximum, but for you, I guess we'll allow.
Or a
I've missed so many
two-parter.
meetings, I should be entitled to 2.
Oh, someone from the state feeling entitled. Wow.
He's getting us all today, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
It's like a little shecky up here.
So first of all, I'd like to inquire, how is McCarty Ranch going? We're happy to bring back a $180,000 grant from the state for the design portion of the next phase.
For the water?
And number 2, what is the city's master plan for the Southern Grove land you just acquired?
All right, so these are each 15 minutes, so she got to ask all
I
the
was going to
questions.
say, now you picked the 2 subjects he's incredibly passionate about, so buckle in, everybody.
Yeah, I'll try to make this as quick as possible. Does everyone
Okay.
know what McCarty Ranch is at this point? Who doesn't know exactly what McCarty Ranch is? All right, so McCarty Ranch, have you heard about the issues we're having with the rivers and there's too much pollution? A lot of times there's actually too much fresh water and it's ruining the ecosystem. Have you heard about that as far as it relates to the St. Lucie River, Indian River Lagoon? At the end of the day, we're putting too much fresh water into them because they're estuaries. They're supposed to be a mix. They're becoming way too fresh, and then way too much pollution because all that fresh water discharge is actually causing algal blooms and algae and all kinds of bad things, killing off seagrass and turbidity. Bad news. So this is happening because too much fresh water is going in there. Well, what do we need to live? Fresh water. It's you know, you'd say it's the most important natural resource outside of the air we breathe. So imagine if instead of ruining treasures and some of the most ecologically important resources, we held on to that water, cleaned it, and used it for drinking water as we grow from a city of 185,000 to probably one of about 450,000. So forward-thinking team here at the city acquired McCarty Ranch, and the additional area, let's just say in round numbers, we're like in the 5,000 acre neighborhood on the other side of, have you ever been there before? It's on the other side of Range Line Road, just right on the other side, right along the C-23. Okay, and always remember that our canals, if you can't figure out and remember which one is which, you start at a lower number from south moving north. So C-23 is the county line with Martin County, and the C-24 is the one that comes down into South Bend. All right, so the C-23, it's on that C-23, and what we're doing is we're working with great partners like Representative Harold, state of Florida, Senate President Negron. We're working with everybody to turn that 5,000 acres into a stormwater treatment area. So we're gonna, during peak flows, when things are flooding and nutrients are going everywhere, we're gonna pull water out of the C-23, we're gonna take it through a series of filter marshes at McCarty Ranch, and then we're gonna leave it in a reservoir so that we can add to our drinking water supply. All right, right now your drinking water comes from the ground, two sources, the surficial aquifer and the Floridan aquifer. All right, so we're going to supplement that. We're going to augment our drinking supply so that you never have to worry about the tap running dry, right? You don't want that to happen because that's the end of civilization as we know it. And you also want that water to be there in case you have to put out a forest fire. So it's very important there also.
I have a follow-up question. What does it do to the levels of the C-23?
Because it's at peak flow, it's helping. Because remember that at peak flow, most of the time you have a Lake O discharge coming through the C-44 and the Okeechobee waterway.
Right.
You have the 23 gushing into it, you have the 24 gushing into it, and then you have all the places where we live and just flow to the St. Lucie River. All of that is gushing into the river, and it's filling it up with stuff you don't want to be in there. Nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, fecal coliform, fecal matter, bad stuff, oils. You don't want that in your river. We're really lucky to live in Florida. Again, we're lucky to live in a place that has natural resources that are globally significant. We don't want to ruin that.
Right.
We can't ruin it.
But the C-23, it's good to mention, is not one of the canals that the discharges from Okeechobee is going down.
Correct. So here in PSL, although we, in our newspaper and the news, we see a lot about the Lake O discharges, it's an indirect effect. It actually comes into the river, just downriver, just to the south of PSL.
Exactly.
But it's still a terrible thing.
It still affects our waters off the coast in southern Martin County.
Well, and this is a really important point, and I'm glad you bring it up, because a lot of people, obviously we're a big city, we're over 120 square miles. Some people don't feel connected to the river. They're like, hey, I live in St. Lucie West. What does the river have to do with me?
Yeah.
Well, not only lifestyle and setting the value of the market, but understand that when it comes to drainage basins, they're huge. In fact, if you're at Animal Kingdom in Orlando and you pour your Diet Coke into a storm drain, that water flows right by us right here. That's how big that drainage basin is. And at the end of the day, we're all connected in Florida.
We are.
On that scale. So keep that in mind.
Connects us all.
You live in St. Lucie West, your water goes to a turnpike, the canal running along the turnpike, and then just feeds into this exact same system.
Yep.
So what you do there is impacting the river and the lagoon just as much as any.
Cigarette butts. I know, I won't get you started. All right. I won't get you started. We'll go to Groves now, because I know you'll get fired up about that.
Seriously, though, do not throw your cigarette butts outside. I'm going to actually do a video, and I'm going to sweep them up.
I hate it.
And then I'm going to shovel them up, and I'm going to bring them here, and I'm going to have Goldie, the goldfish, in this bowl.
Don't kill Goldie.
And I'm going to say, what do you think would happen if I put those cigarette butts in there?
I don't know Goldie,
I'll
but
put
don't
it.
kill her.
No, I know, but that's
I know
exactly
what they're doing.
That's exactly what's happening.
I know, it drives me crazy too. But I can't make citizens arrest.
But let me come back and think, because in addition to having legislators like Representative Harold who really care about the local constituents and go to work for those type of projects, there are people behind the legislator and the elected official.
Karen.
It takes a team, and so thank you, Karen.
And Karen's been with, you've been doing this for many, many years, Karen. How many years is it now for you?
Well, I've been with Representative Harold since 10.
2010, she's been with Representative Harrell, so she's...
I thought she had been there longer than 8 years. That's amazing.
Yeah, no. But she's been around and involved in other areas of
Oh,
politics.
10 years? I thought since you were 10 years old.
Ah, yes.
Gotcha.
Southern
All right,
Grove.
Southern Grove. So has anyone been following the Southern Grove story? So Tradition Land, they're leaving the marketplace. It looks like they'll sell the residential half to Mattamy Homes, which is the largest privately held home builder in North America, based out of Canada. It'd be great to have that additional major builder in our market because they'll be doing a lot of separate marketing. You know, we have all the other major players, the Lennars and the Pulte's and the GL Homes.
The Coulters, and yeah. We got them all.
So it's nice to add, and that's a positive. And quite frankly, Tradition Land Co., they're really the bank behind core communities when they went bankrupt during the Depression. And they were holding the paper, they were holding the loan on the land, and they had to take the land back. And they've carried it at this point for almost 10 years. And they've had to put in about 10 million plus per year. And if you're into accounting, which you're probably not, you know, they have a spreadsheet back at the home office in Iowa that basically says the land's depreciated to zero. So they're 150 million in, and they will never be able to make that back because they have to continue to put 7 million a year just for special assessments into it, and you cannot build that land out fast enough to generate a return. And this is maybe some abstract concepts for some people. I always like to point to examples. Everyone's familiar with St. Lucie West? Yeah? Have you been to St. Lucie West before, sir? Yeah. All right, so it's 2018, is it?
It is.
It is. All right, so
That's what I'm here for.
So St. Lucie West, in St. Lucie West, the Mets had their first game in 1988.
Yep.
So here we are at the 30-year mark, and St. Lucie West is now just finally building out. The residential's been done for a while, but you still just have a couple more pads around Carrabba's. Otherwise, it's built out. That's how long it can take to build out communities of that scale. That's how long it's going to take to build out the jobs corridor. And talking about the master plan, that run of Southern Grove, the commercial side from Tradition to Becker, is supposed to be what the city never had, and that's a jobs corridor, a place for people to work. So a lot of people here probably know we were incorporated in '61. No one lived here until the '80s. In 1970, 330 people lived here. In 1980, about 16,000 people lived here. So, but beginning in the 80s, when you did get above critical mass of 10,000, the people came together and talked about what they wanted our community to be. Ever since then, they've talked about a crosstown bridge, which is almost done. And they've talked about having a place where people could go to work so we would be more than a bedroom and retirement community. And the place where we can make that happen, because we're not working off the General Development Corporation, our original master developers, footprint and legacy, is Southern Grove. And so it's really important that Southern Grove not become another city center because we let it go to tax certificate sale, and it's held up with a cloud over it for years and years. And understand that it would be exactly like city center, except 10 times, well, actually more than that. It would be
A lot more land.
yeah, so city center is only about it's only about 40 acres, and Southern Grove, the commercial side's 1,247. So yeah, like 30 times bigger. So if everything goes according to plan, we will take down the commercial side May 24th or thereabouts. And at that same meeting, we've already gone out and should be advertised today for commercial development partners. The interest has been very strong, and so we expect that we'll be able to take that property on and not miss a beat. No taxpayers are going to have to come out of pocket to cover that. And let me just now circle back to a really important concept of why we're even entertaining this. Once upon a time, back in '06 or '07, a different city council guaranteed the bonds for the infrastructure in Southern Grove. So about $150 million worth of debt on that infrastructure. The city council at the time guaranteed it. So once the property owner's not there to pay it, the city's on the hook. And so the city has the fundamental decision of, do you want to be on the hook and have no control? like City Center, or do you want to be on the hook and have control and deliver the much needed, much desired, long anticipated jobs corridor? And the council voted for the latter, for making it happen. And we have a lot of good things going on in Southern Grove. Tradition Medical Center doubled its size, and you know, it came out of the ground and doubled in a 4-year period.
Yeah. There's a new plaza.
There's a new plaza. There's two medical office buildings going up, another one being planned. It's just there's a lot of things going on. City Electric, 400,000 square foot manufacturing facility.
Should be coming in to help facilitate growth there.
Won a $3 million grant from the governor in the state of Florida on the Job Growth Incentive Grant. We were, we were one of the first 9 awarded. We were part of the first round, and I think there was about 85 million in that fund. There were $400 million worth of requests, and we were one of the first awardees. So we have a lot to be thankful for. There's a lot going on, and it's a meaty one, but that's what you'd expect from someone so insightful and into it.
Karen definitely has knowledge on both of those, but I applaud the council for voting to take it over. The alternative is not a good one, and I'm glad that they, had the foresight to realize that a receivership and tax sales was not the way to go out there.
Now, if you ever want to know about tax certificates or you want to talk about this more in depth, please email me at mayor@cityofpsl.com or call 871-5159. Got a couple, when a newspaper story hits, people may read the headline, they may read the first fold, above the fold. The newspaper article might not properly explain it. I got to say that the feedback's been pretty positive on it overall. I got a couple of, I'm talking about a couple, like less than 5 angry emails about it. And it's, it's understandable why people would be upset. But then when they took the time to look at the item and what's at stake,
They understand.
They said, oh, we understand.
Yeah. You're always very good about explaining. In fact, when people ask questions here, he'll call me and say, who was that? I want to do some follow-up with them. So he's always willing to do that. You can always call me, too. I do the Cliff's Note version of what he says normally. Do we have any other questions?
I was one of the ones on Facebook that asked you about everything is going on in St. Lucie West and what's going on in East. And you mentioned Melaleuca. We're thankful for that because there's a lot of traffic coming through in Green River. We've also got a lot of traffic coming in through like Berkshire, and the kids are coming in from school and they're sitting on the walks and everything. And we haven't had any updated sidewalks since. We have Tiffany, a guy got killed on there, so that's good. We got the sidewalk. No, not good, sorry. Oh, my God.
We knew what you meant.
We knew what
you got sidewalks, which were good.
The audience thought it was interesting wordplay.
It was interesting.
Yeah, we're very sorry.
We really appreciate that because that's near to.
No, you got to be careful.
And I would really like you to have some.
She really did not want to hold that mic near her. She's still tied. It is nowhere near her anymore. But she basically wants to know about the sidewalk plan. But you explained that you can go on and read the sidewalk plan for your neighborhood, right?
Well, you know that I, maybe in too much detail, but I always like to hit these things head on.
I know.
I looked at it, and a couple of people have sort of.
Mic her, please.
I have looked at the Facebook, and a couple of people have sort of answered me back and even started trolling me, which got me very nervous. As you can see, I'm a very.
Imagine what it's like being mayor.
Yeah. He could talk to you about trolling too.
A couple of them actually look like trolls. That's the weird part. Oh, was that the secret? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, it was very nerve-wracking.
Maybe that's just their avatar. Well, no, don't worry about it. Actually, I know who was responding back to you. That's Steve Brickley. He's a local engineer and graduate of PSL High School.
And sometimes here.
Yes, I actually expected him. He was very active on the board. He was actually trying to help you, so don't worry about that that guy.
And he's not a troll. Steve Brickley's a lovely man with a lovely family.
Well, you never really know someone, so as far as we know. Yes, that's how you got to do that. But
oh no. Okay, very good. Very good question.
Yeah, because this is in such detail, we'll handle it one-on-one.
Good.
But I did post as a reply the actual sidewalk master plan.
I have looked at it.
And it shows that you got Tiffany on the way, the crosstown connection, that'll come down Village Green Drive and connect into the existing Village Green. Of course, we're working on Floresta. That's not as far east as you want, but we consider it on the east side, and that's a major project. That improvement project's much more than sidewalks, but that's going to be about 25 to 30 million. So, unfortunately, we're dealing with big numbers, and there's a lot of need across the city. But we can absolutely look at it and talk about, where you see a need for additional services. Now, this goes back to our history, and we have to look at our legacy. GDC, sold 80,000 quarter-acre lots for $10 down, $10 a month for 10 years, and you too can live the Florida dream. And they did that quite seriously in New York, and they set up attractive women playing volleyball. And he's carrying a volleyball. I don't think he's involved with the marketing effort for GDC. Yeah. But they did that in New York, and that's how they sold it. And they did the bare minimum amount of infrastructure, and they didn't think about what would happen when everyone came. And it took a couple of decades, but everyone did come. And so a lot of people throw GDC under the bus. I say that they were amazing at marketing, not as great as we would want at community building. And so now we have to retrofit everything, and it's much more expensive. So that idea of, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure certainly is applicable to infrastructure and having to retrofit. The other thing we found is that with sidewalks, everyone that we speak to really wants sidewalks, especially on the major roads and what we would call major collectors and arterials. But when you get into the purely residential neighborhood, where that's all you have for traffic, is the people living on that street, I want you to know that not everyone wants sidewalks. And they can be quite passionate. Just as many of us are passionate for sidewalks, they can be passionate opposing sidewalks.
But I think we all have to agree, too, that your major arteries where the bus routes run, where they're picking up kids, are probably the priority. I think we have to concede that, yes, might be lovely to have one in my residential home right in front.
That's right.
But, we need them on Bayshore, we need them on Floresta, we need them on major arteries where our kids are getting picked up.
And so, obviously, Bayshore is done, but to your point, Floresta. So when you're dealing with so much need, limited resources, you have to triage, right? You have to prioritize. And really, I don't know that we can rest at night, in all seriousness, till Floresta's done. There's
a piece of Bayshore that's not done, right? Towards South Bend before it becomes Rock.
That's actually getting done this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oak Ridge, it's called, that section.
Oak Ridge,
yeah.
And then it's Floresta again.
And the exciting thing for us that, have been in the community for a while and been talking about sidewalks for a long time is we're actually hitting the tipping point when, we're out in the community talking to people, and kind of do that every day, all day, when they say, hey, Mayor, I want to talk to you about sidewalks. Hey, I really love that Rossiter Road sidewalk.
Yeah.
Really love the Savona sidewalk. Thank you for doing that. Oh, we've got a sidewalk going in on Tulip. Oh, thank you for the Melaleuca sidewalk. We're finally getting to that point now. Thank you for the Cameo sidewalk, where we're getting to critical mass. So it's exciting. And on the next episode, we'll talk about that proposed sales tax. The county is putting the sales tax referendum on.
Very good.
That sidewalk master plan that's available at citypsl.com. If the voters choose to approve the the sales tax.
Sales tax.
One of the things that'll get done is that whole sidewalk master plan will be done in 10 years or less.
That's a good idea. We'll talk about that in depth next month. Thank you for your question, though. I appreciate that. I like the interactive portion of our show.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you all for being with us. I want to thank Culinary Village, Silver Platter Entrees, and my staff and the staff here, Bob and Gus and everybody. Brandon, for making sure you have tea. When you're on your...
I needed like 2 more.
I know it. Maybe we should end with a moment of silence for your pal that held up the show today. But
the show went on.
The show went on, and thanks for the story. But thanks to all of you, and thank you for coming. Thank you for watching at home. Hopefully you're doing that on Comcast 20 and Uverse 99. Always our YouTube station as well.
At citypsl.com.
At cityofpsl.com.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.